Men of Reddit, what instantly turned you off a woman? Saying how my major isn't manly enough. I'm in nursing school by the way, and love it. Her daughter asked her for permission to go to a friend's house. She told her daughter to ask me for permission. We had only been dating for a month, and I had only met the kid once. I had never seen a 9-year-old cringe before. We literally met each other 2 days ago and I wouldn't text her while I was at work the following day, so she had a meltdown and her mom started texting me asking what I did wrong. Didn't even know this girl at all. Seeing her treat her parents like doormats. I had a girlfriend recently, only lasted about 7 months, and this is one of the reasons I, in the end, couldn't stand her. Every time she talked about something and I thought she finished speaking and I started to speak, she continued speaking but in slightly louder tone as if I rudely interrupted her. And if I happened to do it again, she just went from loud to louder. Her speaking pattern was filled with pauses, so it was very easy to mistake one of those pauses for a finished sentence. I have an accent, so anyone who is way too into that gets the boot pretty quickly. I once walked out on a date because she spent 30 minutes trying to impersonate me and couldn't understand why I didn't think it was endearing. I thought maybe we could try an open relationship, after I caught her ducking one of my friends. Breaking up with me. I'm sorry, but if you dump me, that's it, relationship over. We were both 20, hanging out at her nice apartment. She casually, proudly told me she had a sugar daddy, a married guy I knew and loathed. I was on a date where she was really mean to the waiter for a stupid reason, like not enough ice in her cocktail or something, I forget exactly. All of the feelings just evaporated. I was on a date with a girl who did this. She was a waitress also. I couldn't freaking believe it. Calling her university teacher stupid after 30 minutes on our first date. She could not take the test because she did not show up a couple of times and thought it was her professor's duty to tell her in advance. Well, read the DOM syllabus, you are not in high school anymore. She told me all her elaborate plans of getting him fired. After I told her she was in the wrong, she got mad. Instant clinginess. We went out, had a great date and some light fun at her place. She called me the next day while I was out with a friend. I didn't answer. She then called me over and over again until I finally answered. We're talking about 10-15 calls in a row, and when I answered I asked if anything was wrong. Since she kept calling, she said no and said she just hates texting and prefers talking on the phone. I had to calmly explain to her I was out with a friend and if I don't answer, I will call you back, but calling me over and over makes me think it's an emergency. We tried one more date, but at that point it was awkward and I was no longer invested. Also had one girl text me over 130 times in one day after one date. It was worse because we worked at the same place, albeit different departments. It surprised me in both cases. I thought they were out of my league. Isolating me away from my friends and yelling at me when I hung out with them. My cat and her dog didn't get along. She said I'd have to choose between her and her dog or the cat. I picked cat. She cried. It was the second date. Bye-bye. Not being able to stay off your phone. I'm on a date to talk to you, not watch you track your followers. I've actually been out with a girl who was actively tracking her online dating while we were on the date. Nope, right out of that one. Sense of entitlement and wanting me to be something I wasn't. She always had to have her way and I basically couldn't have a different opinion without getting in trouble. She told me she expected me to text her good morning every single morning, but for her, the itch got up at 6 every day and I don't get up till 8. Frick off, that is horseshit. Told her friend in public that my mom was stupid and made fun of her for 20 minutes. She didn't know my mother's friend was sitting next to her in the restaurant and heard the whole thing. We were in college and in a different town, which made the whole experience for her that much more unfortunate. I was done, particularly because my mom was nothing but the kindest person to her and made every effort to make her feel welcome when she visited. I was in a relationship that over the course of 3 years we had broken up twice and both times were more her idea than mine. The final time we broke up I refused to take her back and she got upset with me saying that we got back together the first 2 times so I would have to take her back this time. She got mad at me saying that it wasn't fair because she didn't want it to be over. I just looked at her and said, well sometimes breakups are one-sided. Been there. Got dumped and she came back. Got dumped a second time, which oddly hurt way more than the first time. I'm guessing it's because we opened up a lot about things after the first one and got closer. It's been many years, so I don't remember for sure, but I think we had a third round before I wouldn't take her back. She went ballistic when I wouldn't take her back and told everyone I dumped her. Funny how that works. Anyway, I don't play this game anymore. Self-respect is a pretty amazing thing to find. My second date with this one girl was going to a Christmas party of a mutual friend. After we were there for a little while, she started talking to this other guy and they went to some corner where no one else could interrupt them and talked for an hour. When they were done talking, she immediately told me she was leaving and up and bounced. Totally turned me off so I didn't talk to her again for a while. A month later she reached out and was like, why haven't you called me? I was kind of dumbfounded that she would actually ask. I didn't have anything else going on at the time so I figured we could try again. But the Christmas party left such a bad taste in my mouth I couldn't even feign interest. This is what my coworker did to me. Asked me out, we went out, she danced with other dudes and then came back to the table with 2 drinks and set them down and started drinking. I assumed the other one was for me and took a swig. She looked annoyed at me and asked me if that was mine. Then she looked exasperated and came back with another drink and explained to me she was trying to pick up this dude. And took her 2 drinks over to some guy's table. I gathered my stuff to leave and she stopped me before I hit the door saying that if this guy didn't wanna take her home she would need a ride still. I just nodded and left. Stopped talking to her altogether. Later on she wrote me a note saying stuff like, why haven't we followed up? And I thought we liked each other? And so on. She couldn't understand why I lost interest in her. When she thought the appropriate response to me saying something she didn't agree with was a slap across the face. She had gotten into a fight with her friend because of something she was completely in the wrong about. I made the mistake of calling her out on it. Oh, I have a strong policy on this. A girl gets 1 warning not to face slap me again. If it ever happens again I walk right the frick out of the situation and never speak to them again. I don't give a flying frick if it's in jest or not that hard. I had one relationship where I literally became a black and blue punching bag and another whether I'm joking. Slaps left my face sore for days. They both started out playful and quickly progressed to abusive, and that's not a fun game. I don't hit you in the face for any reason. You do not hit me in the face for any reason. I don't give a shit how angry you are. Had a girl I dated and we were pretty into each other. One day she got extremely upset with me for saying something pretty innocuous because it reminded her of something from her past. I said I'd remember not to bring that up in the future and apologized, though that didn't seem to suffice. It appeared I was to be punished or treated poorly for it. I asked if I could get a pass on this as there was no way I could have known what I said would have bothered her, but no. I asked her if there was anything else that really set her off like this and she said yes, though I'd have to find out on my own. I asked if there was anything I could do in the future to avoid upsetting her or causing one of these situations, and again she angrily said no. I was getting a little perturbed by this point and asked if she was really blaming me for saying something harmless that I had absolutely no idea would set her off that way, and she said yes. So I tried to reason with her one last time. So you're telling me that there is a minefield out there? That you know where all the mines are but refuse to tell me? And that if I step on one of these and it goes off it is my fault and I should be punished as a result? Indeed she did. We were supposed to go out for supper but I told her I wasn't hungry, got in my car and went home. If you're going to create the path and conditions of failure for our relationship, you can trust that I will find the shortcut every time. That's all for today's video. Hope you guys liked it. If you liked the video, subscribe. If you want to support the channel, the best thing you can do is simply watch the videos. But if you really want to see the channel thrive, subscribe, like, comment, add to favorites, add to playlist, and share with friends. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Reddit and Insta. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you with tomorrow's upload.